Welcome to FBB Forum. I'm very pleased today to welcome the beautiful women's bodybuilding and physique competitor in NPC, Wendy Levra. Wendy has been competing since 2016, and her last show was at the North of 2022, and she competed in. And thank you so much for have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I wanted to ask you first about how you got started in bodybuilding. And I was wondering, did you have an athletic or sports background before you started?
I actually didn't. No, I worked out a little bit off and on throughout the years, but I was never good at sports. I didn't have the confidence to try any sports, honestly. So,
Sure.
yeah, it was just a brand new thing to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
A trainer just told me I always was kind of muscular. I had like muscular arms and muscular legs, and a
Okay.
trainer that I should try competing, and I never even knew what it was. I didn't know, I'd just seen like magazines with the little tiny skinny girls in them, so I'd never even heard of it. And then I started looking into it, and I was like wowed by what it was, and I just decided there I was going to try it. So that's how it
That's
all
very
started.
cool. Great. So who convinced you to do your first contest? Was it like a friend or somebody in the gym?
Yeah, it was my trainer. Her name was Miranda, and Mindy, the owner of the gym that I still work at today, and she was my coach for that show. Actually, it was
Oh,
in
really?
yeah, it was a small show in Utah, Salt Lake City. There was only like three of us in my class. I did physique in that show for the first time, and I placed second out of three of us, so it wasn't that impressive. But
Okay.
yeah, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I enjoyed the whole prep. And I just was like, okay, I got to take time to build because my lower body was way bigger than my upper body. And so that's what I did. Plus, I couldn't afford to compete after that. I was going through divorce and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, um, yeah, I had to take some time, and I built my upper body up. And finally, in 2019, I hired Shelby Starnes, and that's when I really started taking it seriously.
I'm having a little technical difficulties with you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you are kind of breaking up a little bit sometimes, but I can hear you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me see if let me just try something real quick here and see if I can get it working a little bit better. Sorry about that. Let's try. Oh, let me just try something real quick. All right. Okay, let me try this again and see. Sorry about the
That's okay.
technical difficulties. um, I was curious. Did you have a role model in bodybuilding when you first started, and if so, do you have a different one now
Oh
that
yeah.
you're 5 years into it, or six, or yeah, 6 years into it?
When I first started, it was Dana Lynn Bailey. Um,
Oh yeah,
she was like all the rage for me. And
yeah,
the farther I've gotten into it, I'm a huge fan of the bigger women, of course. I like Andrea Shaw and Hella Trevino. Um, yeah, Danny Reardon. I mean, I know she's not in bodybuilding anymore, but
yeah.
I just love her. I loved her from the beginning. And she's become a friend, and she's helped me a lot through a lot of spiritual things, and the motivation of bodybuilding and manifestation and stuff like that.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shaw like, I just love her physique. So yeah.
That's great. Yeah, Danny is terrific. Yeah, I remember I live in Tampa, and I remember the Tampa Tribune did a story about high school bodybuilding, and they actually featured her because she was in a high school bodybuilding contest.
Yeah,
Y-
what?
Yeah, and it was so cool to see her in that contest, and then to see her progress into being a pro and being a top pro was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dana Lynn Bailey, that her name comes up so many times in this podcast, but she's really inspired so many people. She's really amazing and just a good person overall, I think.
Yeah, and she's was the first woman to win physique when that class came out. So of
That's
course,
true.
big name, you know.
Yeah, I
So
know. I wonder if she'll come back to compete again. I just think I really liked her look too.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and it's still funny looking at physique back then and
Yeah,
what she looked like compared to what women's physique looks like now. It's
yeah,
almost the same as bodybuilding, you know.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. It has. It's really progressed a lot. I think that's always kind of like a natural progression, I think, within the divisions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hard on competitors because you don't know. You're like, do I need to be bigger? Do I need to be leaner? Like, how lean should I be? And you get different feedback all the time too. So
Yeah, I understand. I know that is makes it tougher.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it just trying to be better, I guess. So
Yeah, that's true. I think that's really yeah. Um I was curious, like when did you first have your aha, I belong here in the gym kind of moment? Because I think a lot of people, especially like, New Year's time, kind of intimidated by gyms, although they're trying to get in for New Year's resolutions and such.
I actually was one of those people that started in January.
Yeah, okay.
Year's resolution for me. It just so happened because, the holidays, you start eating like crap, honestly.
Hmm.
And I had put on more weight than I would have liked. And I went to buy bigger pants at the store. And one of the group fitness instructors actually worked in the store that I was getting the pants in. And she saw me going in there all the time shopping. And she's like, instead of buying bigger pants, why don't you come to my class
Oh, I see.
for a minute? And I was like, you know what? She's right. So I went to her class and it was body combat,
Okay.
which is like a martial arts inspired cardio class. And back then I was a cardio bunny. I loved anything cardio. So and at the time I was doing all kinds of cardio at home, trying to get into shape, and it wasn't working because what most people don't know is cardio is not the answer to losing weight.
Yeah, sure.
Um, I went to her class and I loved it. And I was I started going to all the group fitness classes,
Okay.
just group fitness bunny, going to all the classes, trying to get into shape. And I still wasn't losing any weight.
Oh, I see.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to hire the trainer and see what happens. And it's not that I was um, shy in the gym. I mean, I was, but I knew kind of what to do because I had lifted before.
Okay.
But the new gym to me, I didn't know the equipment. And I was kind of that girl that, I went in there and I was kind of like intimidated by the weights.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I hired the trainer, and that just kind of got me. I started liking it more. I loved working with her
Hmm.
and learning from her, and it just started a fire in me. And then when I hired the owner to start the competition and stuff, I mean, I saw within a month a huge difference just by changing my nutrition and lifting.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it lit a fire in me and I couldn't miss a day. I knew I belonged there.
That's terrific. Yeah, that's really cool. And you've made a lot of progress too. You look really terrific on stage. So yeah, no, you got to have that fire, I think, to compete because
You do.
it's a lot of work and it's a lot of sacrifice. But yeah, no, you've done a great job so far, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Um, I, my next few questions are going to be about your family, and I was just curious. what do your kids think about your fitness career? And I know that you're a grandmother too. So
Yeah.
what do your grandkids think about your fitness career too?
My kids, they're really proud of me. My youngest son, he doesn't seem to care one way or the other, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's proud, but he started getting bored with the bodybuilding. Like, I take him to shows and pretty soon, he's like, okay, I'm done with this. He doesn't want to be there anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
For a kid, a bodybuilding competition. Sorry, my cat is in the way.
Oh, no
Um,
problem.
um, a bodybuilding show is not exactly fun for a kid, and when you go um, to a show during peak week, like all I'm doing is laying in a hotel room doing nothing, like
Yeah.
literally eating my food. I'm exhausted. That's my time to rest. I don't want to
Yeah.
see anybody. I'm grumpy. you know
Uh-huh.
um, well, after the show, and then I'm great, like, let's go out, let's do stuff. So he has gotten to see a lot of the world that way, which is or the US anyway, which is great for him. My
Yeah.
older son, he's always been super proud of me. I mean, we'd always like compare biceps and
Mm,
abs, and um
that's
I,
great.
yeah. My youngest son, I will say, I walk into the store. He works at a little market here, and his coworkers say that um, they're terrified of me, but they also think I'm hot. So I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's kind of funny. But my granddaughter, she's so cute. She's 5 this year, and she uh pretends to be on stage like me,
Oh, yeah. Cool.
around and flex her biceps and smile, and she's gonna be, I swear she's gonna be my little bodybuilder. But my
Oh,
year old, so he could care less. But
yeah. That's so cool about your granddaughter. It'd have to be cool if she could be on stage eventually, maybe.
yeah, and actually it's so funny because she's, most kids are like, my dad's gonna beat you up, or they talk about how strong the men are in their family. But
Yeah.
calls me Ama, and everything, like when she picks something up or does something, she's like, I'm strong like Ama. And
Oh,
coolest thing that she's it's like empowering to me, you know,
yeah. I understand. That's so cool. That's awesome.
and as being so strong. It's just, I don't know. I think it's cool.
I think that's terrific. Yeah, you're a good role model for your granddaughter there. So
Well,
that's great.
I try.
That's cute though, that she's up there posing and
Yeah.
practicing, wants to be like you. So that's so cool.
Yeah. Love it.
That's very cool. I was curious, are your parents still alive? And if so, what are their thoughts about your bodybuilding career?
They are not. My dad passed away in 2002.
Oh, really? Okay.
Never got to see it, but my mom, she passed away 2 years ago.
Okay.
Um, did get to see. She never got to come to any of my shows. She wasn't very healthy, but she
Mm,
was super proud of me.
that's
Um,
great.
yeah, very proud of me. So
That's
I'll
terrific.
get my pro card, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
but she was proud. So,
That's great that she was supportive. Yeah. I'm sorry she didn't get to see your shows though.
oh, that's okay. It's life.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Um, my next few questions are about prep, and I was curious, what's the toughest aspect of competition prep for you?
Oh, for me, it's well, there's a few things. The mental part, trying to push through, and you can't really, it's very selfish. You can't, you have to focus solely on yourself. You
Yeah.
um really do a whole lot with like your family and friends. You can, but it's hard because you have to stick to your schedule.
Yeah. Hmm.
My son lives in Boise, and we'll go to visit him and his family. My grandkids are there, and I got to get up and go do my hour of cardio in the morning and then go back and eat and then go back and work out for 2 hours and then do another 40 minutes of cardio or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole day is taken up right there.
Yeah, sure. I understand. Yeah.
And it makes it really hard. I think that's one of the hardest parts of prep. Um,
Mm.
Being extremely tired. I don't
Yeah.
mind. I mean, that's just part of it. The cardio is part of it, but just the tired, it's a different tired than just sleepy or, oh, I'm exhausted. It's different.
Yeah. It's probably pretty just draining, isn't it? Just feels you're always tired and kind of, yeah.
I remember my first prep with Shelby.
Mm,
Had to lose a lot of body fat.
really?
And yeah, and I was eating like pretty much, I was not eating any carbs, no fat. And this went on for a couple months.
Mm,
And I got so lean. Um, and when you get that lean, there's no fuel. You have
yeah. I understand.
fat on your body to fuel you. So you
Hmm.
can do no carbs for a long time. If you've got fat on your body, you feel okay. But when you don't have any fat on your body to fuel you, you just feel like death. I mean, and we had a townhouse that was had 2 flights of stairs. And I remember moving all my stuff downstairs because climbing those stairs, it got to where I was literally crawling up the stairs. It took every
Wow.
walk upstairs.
Really? Wow.
Bad.
Wow. That would be really tough. I think that would, I mean, personally, it would be tough for me because
Yeah.
I think it would be hard to have that feeling all the time, when especially when you're getting ready for a show. Yeah. Is it tough on your family too, just because you're like kind of cranky and stuff?
Oh, yeah. They don't say anything at the time, but afterwards they're like, "You were a real, I'm not gonna say it."
Oh man, I understand that. Well, it's a lot of sacrifice, though. I know it's tough to do.
It
Uh,
is.
when you're doing prep, what food item kind of lingers in your head? Because I know that bodybuilding diets are very tough. I think personally it'd be hard to contend with. But
Yeah,
what is that food item for you?
the one that I constantly have to eat, you mean, or
No, that you kind of miss out on, and you after the
oh,
show you're like, dive into it.
usually it's like a burger. I just want
Oh,
red meat because I've been living on chicken,
yeah.
chicken or chicken and vegetables, depending on. But yeah, just chicken, chicken, chicken. Or one prep, it was nothing but white fish. And I, to this day, can't. Oh, God, the thought of, because time we just eat it cold, right? Like, we don't have time to worry about heating up our food. So I was eating cold cod and
Oh,
asparagus nonstop. And just, oh, the thought. So
oh no, that's not good.
usually I'm just like a burger and fries. This last prep though, I just wanted like appetizers. I was like, let's go somewhere that has like all the appetizers in the world, you
Oh
know?
yeah, get the sampler. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to sample every little thing I could. So
Oh wow, yeah.
yeah,
I think that yeah, the chicken and asparagus or chicken and rice would be tough to contend with. They're just so monotonous, It's just
yeah.
kind of
And I still eat it. Even after prep. Like that's all we live on, it's like chicken and rice or I don't
yeah. I know that's tough. Yeah, you guys are stronger than me and doing that. Oh yeah, yeah. Uh,
know.
now do you mentioned Shelby? Is he still your posing or your I'm sorry, your prep coach?
No, I left Shelby I left him for a little while and then went back to him. But my
Uh-huh.
last show, I went to Nelson Jones
Okay.
and he's been absolutely amazing. He's really big on health,
Yeah.
taking care of your body, and he pays attention to, if you need a rest days, and he knows when you need rest days,
Okay.
basically hell. and he'll make you rest if you need it. And it's amazing the difference in your body just resting when you need it. And
Sure.
he actually fed me through my prep rather than starved me. And that's when I saw a difference, because starving me wasn't working anymore. Like, it works for a while on a lot of people, but after, I mean, it's like when you get a lot more muscle, I think you just need more food.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I just wasn't, I mean, I love Shelby, but I just wasn't seeing the results I needed anymore. I think I just needed something different, and Nelson
Yeah,
really has made a huge difference. As soon as I went to him, he started giving me carbs and rest, and within 2 weeks, I finally started leaning out. And so,
great. Oh,
yeah,
that's terrific. We'll have to. I usually include like Instagram pages in the comment section, so we'll have to make sure to include his Instagram. So
yeah, it's
yeah,
Nelson, I think, is his Instagram. So
okay, terrific. That's cool. Yeah. How long did you say you've been working with him, with
uh,
Nelson?
I started working with him 8 weeks before North Americans.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, since July.
Yeah. Yeah, you look great at that show too. So yeah, that's great. Do you have a posing coach too?
Yeah, Janine Lankowski.
Oh yeah, Janine, she's terrific. Yeah.
She helped me so much more than anybody ever has. She knows how to explain everything, like how you should be feeling your muscles when you pose a certain way, and it really helped me a lot. So,
Oh yeah, I think she's one of the best posing coaches out there. She's
yeah,
terrific. And
yeah.
seeing her pose on stage too, it's like, wow, she's got some crazy moves. She's amazing. Yeah.
She is beautiful posing.
Yeah, she is very graceful and has that dance background too, which is
Yeah,
great. Yeah. That's very cool. I'll make sure to include her Instagram too.
yeah.
Um, Now, my next few questions are about competition, and I was wondering when and where do you hope to compete again? And I personally, I hope you get your pro card soon. I think you've been getting close, and but I hope you get it this year if you're
So it's
competing this year.
so close. I'm not sure. I've had a few health issues. So right now I'm just gonna take some time off because we don't know how long it's gonna take.
Sure.
So I just need to get healthy right now. I'm not even like worried about building right now because my kidneys aren't doing real great. So
Okay.
uh,
Sure.
I just need to get that healthy, and then I'll worry about, because I can only work out 3 days a week right now.
Okay.
I just need the rest, and but I feel good. I just, if I work out more than 3 days a week, it just completely wears me down. So I have
Really.
to be careful, and it's all good though. I feel much better, and I'm on the road to recovery. So
That's great. Okay. Yeah. No, I hope you get feeling better and hope your kidneys do better too.
me too. That's the main thing. Because if they don't, I can't compete. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. No, I know. Definitely. That's important. And your health is really important for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. And I was wondering, do you have a preference for women's physique or women's bodybuilding? And if you had your druthers, which would you prefer to get your pro card in, or does it really matter to you?
It matters. I probably would never compete in physique again. I loved women's bodybuilding. I felt like that was just where I belonged. Uh,
Yeah.
I loved every minute of being on stage in bodybuilding. And it's so funny because I've done physique. And when I went on stage in physique at North Americans, I felt awkward. This time I didn't feel like
Huh.
myself. I just felt out of place.
Okay.
And when I went on there in bodybuilding, it was just like my home.
Is it
So
like you like the posing style better, or
felt more comfortable with the posing. It's just,
yeah,
I felt, yeah, I just felt more comfortable. I felt powerful, I guess, just in the zone, you know. I just,
yeah.
it was awesome.
I've been impressed with some of the women's physique pros who've gone on to do women's bodybuilding, like Sherry Priami and Melissa Tyke and a few others. And No, I think that's a great. I think it's a great opportunity for you, and I'm kind of pleased to hear you say that too, because yeah, I think women's bodybuilding needs more competitors, and I think you're gonna once you do get your pro card, I think you'll do great in there too.
Thank you. I hope
Yeah,
so. I was so surprised with how many bodybuilders were at North Americans and really happy about it because most like usually you go and there's like four or five, and I was actually really worried about that because I'm not the type that wants to compete against three or four people. I'm like, I want to compete against a bunch of people. I really want to earn it.
yeah, sure, I
Oh,
understand that.
when I went there and there was like 21 women or something like that in my class.
Oh wow,
Wow. And then to place third, you know what I mean? In that many. And I was like, I felt like the teeny little person compared to
sure,
some women. I mean, it was just amazing to me. Like, really, at the time, I was upset that I didn't get my pro card, but they are looking for different things.
yeah, that's true.
Physique is like a different category. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
But I,
also the training is different too for women's bodybuilding too. So it's
they're just,
almost like, would you say? I mean, it seems like you're training to be a little bit bigger, and you know the posing, like I said, is different.
yeah.
Um, so it's you almost have to um, prepare yourself differently, you know, to get into bodybuilding, I think, or the bodybuilding division.
I mean, I feel like the training's the same. Like, you have to train heavy no matter what you compete in, really. But
Yeah.
um you do, like, now I'm like, oh, my back, that's the main thing they were talking about. The judges said was that my back, was the one thing that I needed to work on, which I totally agree with. I mean, those women had these huge backs, and
Hmm.
but it's always been kind of my lagging body part.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'll just keep working on. I mean, I've always had huge legs, and they definitely stood out a little bit. So
They did. Yeah, that's true. I remember that in that show. Yeah.
I'm like,
Uh,
well, keep working on my back.
that's very cool. That actually is a question I had coming up next, in terms of judges' feedback on your physique. And so they said that back was what you need to work on the most.
Yep, that's the only thing really. They said that my symmetry was great and everything. It was just my back, you know.
Yeah. Needing
So
more size or more conditioning?
more size.
More
So
size. Yeah.
um yeah, I mean, I felt like I was pretty conditioned.
Yeah.
I could see where I could be better conditioned too, obviously,
Okay.
but the size is what they were talking about. So,
Okay. Sure.
uh,
No, you got time. You can
oh
increase
yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
mean, I probably won't compete for another year or two. So if I get to compete, I'm just gonna say that I will. But
That's terrific. Yeah. That's very cool. Um, I was curious what is your favorite muscle group on for yourself, and then what's your least favorite?
to train, I love shoulders. I don't. It's almost like instant gratification to me because it hurts right away.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, but most people hate shoulders. I love it. The one I hate to train actually is legs. I
Oh
just
yeah.
hate doing legs.
Huh.
Yeah.
Your legs are so good though.
Thank you. But yeah, oh my gosh, I hate doing legs.
Really? Yeah. I
If I
always
could
think
again, I probably wouldn't, but yeah.
it seems like leg day is just tough, like after, because you have to walk on them after,
Yeah.
it's just really tough to get around, and
Yes.
if you could have like a little wheelchair after, you'd be maybe better.
Out of the gym and
Uh-huh. Um, very cool. My last few questions are just a little bit miscellaneous. I was thinking if you had a leadership position in the NPC or the IFBB, what would you do to improve the sport? And how would you make it the sport better?
um that's kind of a hard one. I think that um, maybe more clear criteria
Hmm.
for different classes. Just because
Yeah.
I said that as competitors, we're a little bit confused on what they're looking for.
Yeah. Hmm.
Go in and you're like, do they want leaner? Do they want bigger? Do they want more muscular? Because I know I was very confused going into women's bodybuilding what they were looking for. And
Hmm.
even walking around backstage, you know, I'm looking at some of the people, and this is not in a disrespectful way, but I'm like, oh, well, she's not very lean, so I'll probably be fine. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm used to physique is like, you got to be shredded.
Yeah, sure.
Thing is a little bit different because they want like fullness. They still
Yeah,
super lean, but they also want really full. So, or that's what it seemed like to me.
I think
So,
you're right about that. Yeah.
so I don't know. I was like so confused on what I don't know. And they talk about symmetry, but then there's some people that don't have symmetry and they're winning. And I'm not saying anything bad about them, but they don't have like
Yeah.
symmetry in comparison to some of the other women. And I'm like, well, that woman had better symmetry and really looked great. Why didn't she win? And this is just watching shows or whatever too. So I don't know. And I'm not a judge, so I have no idea, but
Yeah,
like
sure.
as somebody looking from a different view, I feel like the criteria needs to be more clear. And I
Yeah.
need to, it's like they change the rules all the time on what, oh, we're going to lower our standards, or I don't know how you'd put it, but, they said that the women in physique shouldn't be so striated, but then they're
Yeah.
looking for that, it seems like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think there's a lot of kind of blurred lines between the divisions and the judging panels really vary from city to city and show to show too.
They
And I
do.
know it's an objective sport or subjective sport, I should say, um but I think you're right. There could be some more kind of defined criteria, be more consistent too, probably, would you
Yeah,
say?
that's
Yeah.
exactly what I mean. Yeah, like just be consistent across the board, I think.
Yeah.
At least so everybody knows what they're getting into, like what they should be trying to look like.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that would be nice. Um, and I think that I've heard that from other competitors too, that they would like to see a lot more consistency and yeah, define criteria and then stick to it too. Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
always stick to it. Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah, that yeah, as a competitor, I think that would be kind of tough and a little frustrating too, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Now, um, I've kind of rephrased this question since I first wrote this, but do you have trouble kind of like um, with your being like between off-season look and your stage look, and then um, I think that some competitors feel like they're just like too fat, like in the off season, although they still look awesome. It's just kind of like a mind kind of thing. And do you kind of suffer from that kind of a little bit body dysmorphia?
Yeah, big time. I
Really?
can't, it's really hard to look at yourself in the mirror when you've put on even the smallest amount of body fat, which is really unhealthy.
Yeah.
So I'm trying really hard to not um, have negative self talk, but it is hard. I'm trying to change the way I talk to myself in my head.
I
'Cause,
understand.
you know, partly too because of mm, being a coach too. I try to tell other women that they need to accept them, love themselves, and then I'm being a hypocrite because I'm talking about how fat I am.
Yeah.
It just really doesn't make any sense for me to uh, try to tell other people to do one thing when I'm doing another.
Yeah, I understand that. I do think that's something bodybuilders all struggle with, and it's definitely kind of a mind body kind of disconnect, I think, because the competitors like you I mean, you still look better than 99% of the population, I'd say, in off season. So, yeah. So I can understand that though, and you go through such a transformation too. So it's just, yeah, I bet it would be kind of tough.
Well, and we have to remember too that we do have to put on a little bit of body fat if we're going to grow. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
that's like we want to grow, but we want to stay the same. That doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
You know,
And it's not really healthy to be so lean year round
oh,
either.
it really messes with your hormones. Uh,
Yeah.
so it's just not, we need to have a reset and allow ourselves. Plus, who wants to live like that anyway? I mean, I think that to myself, like, I want to go out and enjoy a meal once in a while.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want a burger. I want
Uh-huh.
once in a while too. Come on.
Yeah, you got to live your life and not, yeah, be stuck with chicken all the time and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Um, I was curious, like when you're out in public, do you like to show off your muscles, or do you kind of prefer to keep them covered just so you don't get any chatter or from other folks, strangers and such?
You know what? I worked hard for my physique, and I like to um I like to wear nice clothes, and I will show off my arms and stuff. Yeah, I like to show off my physique.
Great, very cool. I
Yeah.
think that's great. Yeah. No, you worked hard for it. You might as well show it off.
Yeah. And you do get a lot of attention, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's cool. I appreciate it because I feel like as hard as I've worked, if somebody notices it and they're respectful of it, then I've done my job. Hey.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And I'm sure you really stand out too, like when you're out in public and such.
I have a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Um, so I just have one more question that I just was wondering, is there anything that I should have asked you that I neglected to that you'd like to address?
Actually, no, I think you kind of covered most everything I could think of. So,
Okay, very cool. Thank you so much. Would it be cool to get a quick flex from you?
sure. I don't know if you can see everything, but
Oh yeah, I can see okay. Yeah. Oh, you look great with your biceps.
thank,
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
thank
And
you.
as I mentioned, I'll include your Instagram page and your coaches down below too, and try to get this posted relatively soon. But I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. It's great.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, definitely. And yeah, we'll definitely get it posted. And thanks again for your time. And
Thank,
hope to see you on stage again when you're up to it. Definitely next year or two,
yeah,
maybe.
hopefully.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thanks.